even at idle speed. Dodge, Canada's truck stop.
The BF Goodrich TA Performance Radio now gives you more. The BF Goodrich TA Radio. Nothing stops it from performing. Well, almost nothing.
When the world is changing before your eyes.
We take you directly to the heart of the story.
And you need to know why.
People want straight answers.
It takes experience.
We're not afraid to be controversial.
To know what matters to Canadians.
We're going for the facts and the feelings.
For the finest hour in news and analysis, join Peter Mansbridge and Hannah Gardner on The National. Weeknights at 10 on CBC.
Is Marcia heading for a fall?
I'm suing you big time.
I find you very attractive.
Guy's such a bozo.
I think we kind of compliment each other.
What you do on that?
You think you can pull some cheesy male charm and I'll forget?
Liberty Street. Reality Bites back Wednesday.
Thursday on Man Alive.
Calgary really dodged a huge bullet because it became a 6-point swing. They were able to get a field goal out of that instead of surrendering the ball to Baltimore at that point in the game.
Yeah, a swing of 6 points. Doug Flutie, Ron, has not had things his way the way he did in the North Final last week against the Edmonton Eskimos, coached by Ron Lancaster. Is that because he's facing a better defense today?
I tell you this, but the team speed of Baltimore has been unbelievable. If he doesn't get outside and get time to throw, they're going to get him because they will beat the blockers. He's getting a lot of man coverage in the secondary, and they're not giving Flutie time to throw it. I think that the defense of Baltimore has done one heck of a job.
James, what do you think of the prospects of a quarterbacking change by the Calgary Stampeders in the second half?
Well, I think you have to run with Doug Flutie. He's gotten you here into this game. You got to give him at least one more quarter against this win, because if he can't get it done, you know that Jeff Garcia is very capable in the backgrounds and the wings waiting. You have to warm him up and keep him ready to come the fourth quarter.
Would you be addressing that possibility in the dressing room, Ron, if you're coaching the Calgary Stampeders?
You know, the hardest decision I'd have to make, or I think the teams would have to make, is that you could be going against this wind in the third quarter because you're going to take it in the fourth. Maybe let Garcia play a little bit in the third, see if he can get something going because he's a little bigger and stronger and it'll be easier on his arm than Doug's. But I think I want Doug Flutie at controls when I'm going home with the wind at my back because he's the guy that's going to win it for me.
Good, solid first half of football. Can you recall a Grey Cup game in which special teams have been so dominant, at least to the first half?
Well, I don't think that you'll ever go back in history and find that where Grey Cups have been that dominant, well, special teams, and Ron's been around a lot longer than I have, but it's been the big part of the game here in the first half.
You put your hand up. You
sure,
got an answer?
Real fast. 1976, they blocked the punt, they faked the punt and ran 35 yards, and a guy named Hadnacker ran 75 yards for a touchdown. That's not 3 pretty good plays in a football game.
Nice bit of history. Thank you very much, Ron. All right, so at halftime, Baltimore leads, and when the Chrysler Canada Grey Cup halftime report continues from Taylor Field in Regina, we'll go to the field to showcase the province of Saskatchewan.
We came up from Louisiana to Montreal to play at the festival. We were ready to go, but we noticed that our most important instrument was missing right before the show. We had to do something. I wasn't even sure they took Visa. Do you take Visa?
Pardon me?
Visa. I hope y'all take it.
Of course. We only take Visa.
Used more often than any other card in the world. Visa. It's the only card you need.
What does it take to sell your home? Power. A sign everyone knows. One that opens your door to buyers. Power. At Century 21, the best trained salespeople work hard to get you the best price. Power. The world's largest referral network. When word gets out, your house can sell faster. And only with Century 21 can you earn up to 1,500 air miles travel miles when you buy or sell. List now and get 100 bonus travel miles. Century 21. Put the power to work for you. Work for you.
For the migraine sufferer,
Imitrex is a safe drug when prescribed for the appropriate patients.
but for some, adverse side effects.
It appears that I had a heart attack because of taking the medication.
Marketplace, Tuesday at 7:30.
This hour has 22 minutes, Monday night on CBC.
Hello, comedy lovers.
Start your week off laughing.
I went to a yuppie garage sale. They weren't selling anything. They're just showing everybody all the stuff they have.
Oh, your ex-girlfriend, I love her.
Make a date with Canada's craziest comics.
Jack Jack, Sasha.
I don't want bacon for $11.99. I want a dancing pig singing show tunes.
A new day, a new time. Comics Monday.
It's not unusual to see things sprouting in the fields of Saskatchewan, but you don't see this every day.
1, 2.
Isn't Saskatoon a long way from Spain?
Flamenco is in the
Points in this third quarter, and you score none because Baltimore can't put it away. You don't want to get too far down going home, even though you have the win.
Let's also make this point. Calgary's not out of this game. All the Stamps need is 1 or 2 big plays on special teams, which worked for the Stallions in the first half.
That is true. I mean, if they can find a way to get some points, and like Ronnie said, they need to get some quick points. They need to keep the ball out of Baltimore's hands. And when you have a ground control offense where you like to turn up the yardage, it's in the Baltimore's favor right now with the win.
All right, 30 minutes of football left here at Taylor Field, barring overtime. Let's go to the field now and bring in Mark Lee.
Scott, if the Stampeders are going to get back into this game in this third quarter, they're going to have to control the line of scrimmage on defense, and there is a huge weight disadvantage for the Stampeder defensive line compared with those Clydesdales on the Stallion offensive line. The weight difference as much as 50 to 80 pounds per man, and also consider this, one of the keys on the Stampeder defensive line, Stu Laird, is playing this game, he tells me, with a stress fracture in his arch, and he had his right knee drained this week because of intense swelling. So that will be an area where we'll keep our eyes, and we'll be tracking that story in the second half. Right now, let's go over to Steve on the Baltimore sideline.
Thank you very much. I just talked to a couple of Baltimore Stallions as they came out of the dressing room. One of the things that they lost last year against the BC Lions at BC Place Stadium in Vancouver, they felt was their intensity and their focus. At halftime, they really concentrated on that, and they think that those two keys will take the Cup south for the first time in CFL history.
The Calgary Stampeders won the coin toss, you'll recall, at the start of the game, so they will have the wind at their back in the fourth quarter. They deferred their choice until the second half, so they will be defending against the wind and defending against this man. Mark Lee talked about the Clydesdales up front for the Baltimore Stallions, the big O-line. Well, this is the thoroughbred on the punt return unit, Chris Wright, who already has an 82-yard punt return, and he is the man that the Calgary Stampeders were concerned about on the Baltimore special teams.
That strong wind blowing right now, Mark McLaughlin's kicking is imperative to try to get it obviously as deep as he can. Baltimore should get great field position on this opening series of the second half.
Calgary's game plan, prior to discovering that the wind would be blowing as it is, was to try and keep the ball away from Chris Wright. They wanted to kick the ball to Mike Pringle, who is part of the kickoff return unit. Some of the spectators have spilled out from the stands onto the field, and trying to move people in a rather congested area is time-consuming. But they wanted to kick the ball to Pringle. That basically was their game plan, Dan. Try and wear him down, put some punishing hits on him on special teams on kickoff return, but so far they've not been able to do that.
Well, they certainly haven't. They felt if they did get it into Pringle's hands and had enough time and an opportunity to take a couple of shots at him, then Mike would have to line up, go 1st and 10 or 2nd and 10, whatever it may be, and run the ball normally. The more you can beat him up, hopefully that you can wear him down. But Mike Pringle shows to be a true challenge to that test. He is not wearing down.
And the wind continues to blow every bit as strongly as it was at the start of the game. Normally it subsides later in the day in Regina. Statistically, the Calgary Stampeders have the edge, but the Baltimore Stallions have the 10-point advantage. 146 net yards for Calgary, 101 for Baltimore. Special teams accounting for all 23 points last week in their Southern Division final victory over San Antonio. It was all Carlos Huerta. So Don Matthews may have some legitimate concerns about the Calgary Stampeders, a fearsome offensive machine having the wind at their back in the fourth quarter.
Well, this could come down to that situation that whoever is holding the ball last, and particularly with Calgary and that man right there, Doug Flutie, with the wind, could have the best opportunity to win this game. First and foremost, that guy has to score some points. Imperative that he scores some points in the third quarter going into the win, and their defense has to come up big against Baltimore, and at least if they can keep them to that 23-point mark.
Well, still security concerns in the west end zone where spectators are trying to make their way into the seats that have been specially constructed for the Grey Cup. Taylor Field, as I mentioned earlier, refurbished at the cost of $2 million. And if you're wondering about Taylor Field and how it got its name, it was christened in 1947 in honor of Neil Piffles Taylor, a player, coach, and executive with the Regina Rugby Club, as it was known at the time. And he, I don't think, ever dreamt that Taylor Field would look as it does today. Scott?
All right, Dom, well, the spectators are trying to make an orderly procession back into the stands. We're told the problem is a medical emergency in the west end zone, so that's obviously what's accounting for the delay. What about Kepley's point that Doug Flutie's got to get going in the second half?
Well, they really do. They cannot afford to come out of the locker room flat here at halftime. They need to be able to come out with some aggression. They've been flat on the sideline, and they really need to kick it in. Ron, what would you do to motivate them?
I'll tell you what, no, you got to get something going, but I'm going to tell you, don't try to run Tony Stewart. They're not running. Doug Flutie's got a little bit of play action, bootleg, and if he has to, he's got to run. He's got to carry this football team the rest of the way. No one else going to do it.
Ron, I know you've always said that any team that's got Doug Flutie and has the ball with 2 minutes to go has a chance.
As long as you're not down 30 points. You know, they're down 10 now. You know, this is a big quarter. Coach Matthews realized it from his side, but it's even bigger for Calgary. When you're down 10, you can't afford to go down another 10 or 12 points and going into the fourth quarter.
And that's one of the things that we spoke about. Would Doug Flutie run the football? And he only really ran it one time in the first half. He picked up a first down on the second and short. But Doug Flutie needs to be able to carry the football in the second half.
All right, Mark Lee standing by on the field. Mark?
Thanks a lot. The delay here at Taylor Field has been caused by an unfortunate incident just at the end of the half. A fan in these bleachers down here suffered a heart attack. They had to move thousands of people out of the stands to get this person out of the stands and to the hospital, and so that's why there's a delay. Now they're trying to move the people back into the stands, and they're crowded towards the far end of the end zone. Let's go back up to the booth, Don.
Well, it looks as though we are, again, just about set to resume play in the second half. This crowd of 55,000 at Taylor Field, the second time this stadium has been filled to capacity. On October the 14th, they jammed this facility for a regular season game as the Saskatchewan Roughriders handed the Stampeders only their second loss of the season by a score of 25-20. Doug Flutie was not in uniform that day. Jim Spiros, the owner of the Baltimore Stallions, and he's really not interested in breaking away to join others in starting a new league in the United States, as he has said in the past. And he would like to see his Stallions wind up by taking the Grey Cup home to Baltimore or wherever the team might be located for next season. Wright brings the ball back to the 44-yard line, a 16-yard run back after a 47-yard kickoff. And Baltimore, with the wind at the back, has been playing on a short field most of this game.
Well, they really have. They've been playing on a short field on 2 occasions because of the wind and also because of Chris Wright. Here you see the matchup and the numbers on Flutie and Ham through the course of the first half.
3 receivers out to the left as Tracy Ham moves in behind the center. Nick Subas, Drummond in motion across the formation. Hand off to Pringle. Pringle goes wide. McClanahan made the first contact with him but wasn't able to bring him down, and then Marvin Coleman forced Pringle out of bounds. Dan, you often talk about the closing speed of a linebacker. McClanahan has it.
McClanahan has legitimate 4.4, 4.5 speed, and he's a big man, 6'2", about 222, out of Washington State, but he's young, he's raw, he has a lot of abilities. It's a matter of just polishing him and getting all that energy directed in the right area.
It will be 2nd and 7. Fake inside to Pringle. Now Ham is forced to haul it down and run, and he's pushed out of bounds. Short of a first down, Gonzalo Floyd came across to force Ham out of bounds.
You can see the look on Tracy's face as he's talking to one of the receivers downfield, talking about, hey, when I'm standing in there and you got to read that coverage, you've got to make this adjustment. And when I start to move, find the open area. And it looked like he was talking to Joe Alfin to come back, find the open area, give me a target to hit at.
And he's not reluctant to chastise his teammates if they make a mistake.
Well, in this game, I think somebody has to be the general out there. Somebody has to take control, and Tracy takes that responsibility very well.
Baltimore has Chris Wright as a return man. Calgary has Coleman, who can run it back, but he won't get an opportunity to field it. He is going to let it bounce and have it roll through the end zone. So the 70-yard single gives Baltimore an 11-point lead.
Hockey reunions. Seems every year.
See this? I could have been a pro. I would have been a superstar.
The stories grow bigger.
I got the winning goal. You shot it. I deflected it right.
The arguments louder.
I don't believe a word of it.
And the jackets, well, you know. All the more reason you'll appreciate the extra 34 cubic feet in our new minivans.
Coming down the ladder now. The limb footbeds are only in the surface about 1 or 2 inches, although the surface appears to be fine-grained as you get close to it. I'm going to step off the limb. That's one small step.
He's at the 35.
All right.
The 28.
Eat, sleep, sports!
Another spectacular view of Taylor Field as we continue with our coverage of the 83rd Grey Cup game. Following the game, Chrysler Canada will present the Chrysler Canada Most Valuable Player of the Game, and he'll get a 1996 Dodge Ram Laramie SLT pickup. Early candidates include Chris Wright, Alondra Johnson, and Don Maybe the coin used in the pregame toss, providing Calgary can do something with the wind in the fourth quarter.
Well, many people suggested prior to the kickoff that the coin toss could be very vital in determining the outcome, and Calgary will have the wind at their back in the fourth quarter. But right now, Doug Flutie on a quarterback draw is operating against it, and Doug Flutie is going to be very close to a first down, a pickup of about 8 yards. O.J. Brigance came over to pull him down.
Good call by Doug Flutie early in this quarter.
Flutie's passing attack so far has been mainly to the right side of the offense. 8 of the 10 completions have gone in that direction, and they've been of the short variety.
Well, they had to be. I think a lot of those passes were thrown trying to catch up in the second quarter, and you're not going to throw the ball a great distance into this win.
2nd and 2 as Flutie picked up 8 yards on the quarterback draw. He gives to Stewart, and Stewart, like an explosion through the line of scrimmage, and he was into the secondary so quickly they didn't have a chance to stop him.
The offensive line of the Calgary Stampeders really missed Bruce Covington over on the left tackle. Bruce Beaton has filled in extremely well, does a good job getting off the ball. Bobby Pandalita's making a big block and creating a big hole for Tony Stewart to have an opportunity to pick up that first down.
1st and 10 from the 53. Baltimore leading by 11. Inside handoff to Stewart. Stewart trying to go wide. Then he's hit. Charles Anthony was the man who made the initial contact with him. And then Matt Goodwin finished the job.
I think it's in case that Doug Flutie, if you're going to run the ball and you're going to use Tony Stewart, you're going to have to go straight at this tough Baltimore defense. You try to counter and use any kind of fancy plays against these guys. Look at the athleticism of Alfred Payton. Stretches it out, moves Tony Stewart down the line, and that allows Charles Anthony, great speed, to pursue it in there, close quickly, and make that tackle for about a 2-yard gain.
Matt Goodwin has been around the ball an awful lot so far in this game, and he was there to help out Charles Anthony. Here comes the blitz. Pass is complete to Alan Pitts, and that will be a first down at the 45 as Flutie got it off just in time.
That's what Doug Flutie does. He will stare right down the face of a blitzing linebacker and release the ball. Alan Pitts comes in, man-on-man coverage, creates a little separation, comes back toward the ball, back toward the quarterback, and Doug Flutie threw the ball on the mark.
Baltimore has been bumping the receivers on almost every play as they come off the line.
Well, it's a catch-22, because if you bump them, you better hit them clean, because those receivers, if you miss them, they will take it to the house and take it for 6.
Inside handoff to Stewart, and Stewart takes it to the 40-yard line, a pickup of 5. It was Alfred Payton with help from Brigance who managed to trip him up. Only twice this year has Stewart had 100-yard rushing games.
Alfred Payton has to respect Doug Flutie running outside. That forces him to come upfield for the contain, and that allowed the run play to take place inside. Alan Pitts, not only a good receiver, he's going to come out there and at least get in the face of Matt Goodwin for a block.
2nd and 5. Fake inside to Stewart. Flutie with a deep drop. Throws complete to Sapunjas. This will be another first down Calgary. And this is the type of Calgary drive that we've come to expect most times this season.
And Don, I think this accomplishes one great thing. It keeps the ball in the hands of Calgary, runs off some time of the clock, and it takes away from the time that Tracy Ham has got to utilize with the win.
10 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Sapunjas with 85 receiving yards. He's the leader among the 4 slot backs in today's game, and this is Terry Vaughn looking for a hole, and he takes it to the 10. 22 yards for Terry Vaughn.
Now, this is a very slow developing play that's constituted by the fact that the offensive line has to do a tremendous job of blocking. Doug Flutie has to wait for Terry Vaughn to come from the wide out position on the right-hand side of your screen all the way across the field, and you can see when he gets in traffic, Terry Vaughn does a good job covering that ball up with 2 hands to make sure they maintain possession.
1st and 10 from just outside the 10-yard line. Flutie in the shotgun, 3 receivers to the left. Flutie looks that way. He may run it himself. He was looking to the end zone. O.J. Brigance made the tackle. He was looking to the end zone, hesitated just a moment, and then Brigance was able to close.
Well, O.J. Brigance is just one of those kind of really great linebackers. Good closing speed. Doug Flutie's looking downfield. O.J.'s coming inside out on him. Great peripheral vision by Doug Flutie. Sees him right at the last minute and is able to tuck the ball away so that he doesn't fumble it.
Talked earlier about the closing speed of a linebacker. We saw it there.
But he's got great speed and great anticipation of the offensive plays.
It will be 2nd and 10 from just outside the 10-yard line. Flutie in the shotgun. Flutie is going to run it this time. He gets a block. Will he get there? He dives to the corner and will be just short at the 1-yard line, but close enough that I don't think there is much doubt that the Stampeders will go for it if they are short.
Great foot speed by Doug Flutie. Looks at the coverage downfield, sees it's not there. He's going to take it on his own. Breaks to the outside right now. As soon as that ball goes under the left arm, it's going to be run all the way. Picks up a block, but then he runs outside of Douglas Kraft. Kraft made a very poor effort to make the tackle on the quarterback, Doug Flutie. 2nd and about a yard, 3rd and about a yard, I should say. And Calgary, no doubt, if they get this play, a big momentum swing for the red and white.
Well, Ron Lancaster might remember what Doug Flutie did in the opening quarter in the Northern Final when they consumed 8 minutes on their first touchdown drive. They have used a lot of time on this drive. Flutie keeps. No signal yet. The Stampeder players are signaling. Flutie could have picked up a first down without scoring.
I think he picked up the first down, but he did not get in. Let's take a good look at it here. Great surge in the middle. Denny Chronopoulos Jamie Crysdale, Bobby Pandalides. There's the force and the edge, gets the ball up in there. Looks like it's for the first down, but it didn't look like it crossed the plane.
A critical measurement, and it will reveal a Calgary first down. Flutie was denied the end zone, but they will have 3 more cracks at getting there.
Here's a look from the other side. Good surge again, as I said, up that offensive line. The guys up front. Doug Flutie stopped momentarily, tried to make the second effort, but just did not cross the plane. Ball comes back to the 1-yard line.
First and goal, Calgary. Flutie is going to keep. This time he's got it. It's a pro-Calgary crowd here at Taylor Field for this 83rd edition of the Grey Cup, and they're delighted with this touchdown run by Doug Flutie.
It worked 3 times, right behind, again, Jamie Crysdale, Bobby Pandalides, Rocco Romano off the right side.
7:15 remaining in the third quarter as Ricky is getting set for a touchdown gallop. McLaughlin adds the point after. And with 7:02 remaining in the third quarter, it's a 4-point game. We'll be back with the Calgary kickoff.
With 4 doors, tons of interior space, comfortably contoured seating, and a great stereo, the Neon sedan is a huge kick for cruising. While the Neon Coupe's 132 horsepower engine and fully independent suspension make it a real kick in the passing lane. Neon sedan or coupe, it's never middle of the road. Say hello to Neon at your Plymouth and Dodge dealers.
Winter's here, and it's time to ask yourself, does your battery have the juice to get you started when you really need it? Do your tires have the traction you need for slippery situations? Only Canadian Tire offers MotoMaster batteries and tires to get you going in any situation. All at the everyday low prices you'd expect from Canada's automotive store. Canadian Tire. There's a lot more for your car for a lot less.
On the next edition of The Health Show, the story of Gus Fazio and his amazing battle against Parkinson's disease.
We're well into the operation now. How are you feeling? I feel quite well.
The Health Show, Thursday.
Thursday on Man Alive.
After they'd hung him on a tree, they came back to get me because I was to be the third man. They wanted all 3 of us hanging on the tree that night.
The Legacy of a Lynching, Thursday on Man Alive.
Grey Cup. Well, Doug Flutie put it in the end zone, capping a drive that took a lot of time off the clock. And the guys up front deserve a lot of credit for the job they did.
They sure do. And I said initially at the beginning of this game, whoever can win the battle of offensive lines is going to win this football game. On that particular drive, those 5 guys there did an incredible job against a tough defense that allowed Doug Flutie to get the ball in the end zone.
That was an 11-play drive against the wind. This is Chris Wright on the return. Penalty flag. That will likely be an illegal block against Jason Bryant. He took Greg Frères out of the play, and it appeared to be a hit from behind.
Well, there's a couple of flags out there, and it could be, as you said, Jason Bryant. Another one I saw, Alvin Walton, number 4. The thing that it does for the Calgary Stampeders, after we take a look at this scoring drive here, 11 plays, 75 yards, big thing, it took up 6 minutes, 33 seconds. Here's the surge off that right side of that offensive line. And I don't mean just the right side that gets all the credit. Everybody across the board did their job in that 11-play drive. And Ricky.
Baltimore 14, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Ricky was starting to wonder whether he was going to get out of the truck here.
Well, Ricky lights the fans in the east end zone because that's the area where They celebrate a Calgary touchdown. And now Baltimore is backed up. The crowd very much back into the football game. Sideline pattern for Clark. Clark made the first man miss. He got away from Jordan and picks up the first down with Gerald Vaughn making the tackle.
This is what's impressive about Tracy Ham. Comes into the league, as I said, noted as a scrambler, mover, and a shaker, but he has really developed into a passer. This is a tough throw. It's a long throw to the outside. Finds Clark. Clark makes a good reception, dips away from Jordan, and picks up a few extra yards.
First and 10 now from the 33-yard line. Over the middle to Gerald Alphen, and he has another Baltimore first down. Alphen started the year with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. On the Labor Day weekend, was cut by Cal Murphy. Had some options, Memphis or Baltimore. Opted to sign with Baltimore, and they feel he takes a lot of pressure off the other slot, Chris Armstrong.
He really does. Tracy reads this. Calgary does a little bit different in their drop. They drop Marvin Pope. You can see him spinning around. He doesn't see Joel Alphen, and Joel Alphen gets downfield quickly. Tracy hits him.
Ham throwing over the middle, and it was knocked down at the line of scrimmage by Gonzalo Floyd. He got his hands up, and that's something the Calgary defensive linemen are attempting to do, get those hands up in those passing lanes.
Well, their primary rule is you make your effort, you make your rush to get up the field. Once you feel you're stalled and you see the arm motion of the quarterback, get your hands up and get up high. Gets up that right hand, knocks it down, creates a long and 2nd and 10 situation for Tracy Ham.
This time, 3 receivers wide to the left. Ham completes the pass to Tui Pelotu, and he is going to be stopped short of the first down by McClanahan. Now, it looks as though he's only about a yard shy, so Don Matthews has a decision to make.
And I wouldn't think there would be a lot of decisions. And I know Coach Matthews over the years, a little bit of a gambler. And plus, when you have the guys up front that average 300 pounds, 6'6", you better think you can get a yard. And you got Mike Pringle in the backfield.
In the I formation, they scatter. Tracy Ham will keep. And it looks as though he should have the first down, but it might require a measurement nonetheless.
Goes off the left side behind the CFL's most outstanding lineman, Mike Withicombe. Nick Subas, the center.
Calgary think they've stopped him, and the ball placement could be critical here.
Hold your possessions. Come on, Calgary ball!
Referee Dave Ewell calling for a measurement, and it might be very close, folks. The Calgary players feel they've stopped Tracy Ham on the 3rd down gamble. They stretch out the chain.
I don't think so.
Whoa. They just got it.
Frank Spaziani, the defensive coordinator, signaling in to Matt Finley.
So it's 1st and 10 Baltimore from the 48-yard line. 4:23 remaining in the 3rd quarter. A 3-receiver set left. Fake inside to Pringle. Ham steps up, looks over the middle. He's got Alphen open. And Alphen takes it down to the 25-yard line. Tackled there by Jordan. A 22-yard gain for Gerald Alphen.
Great protection for Tracy Ham. That allows him to stand in the pocket for a long time. And with that extra time, it allowed Gerald Alphen to go down one-on-one, create some separation from Al Jordan, as Tracy Ham delivered the ball on the money, but paid just a little bit of price from Strekos Zakovic after he let go of the ball.
1st and 10. Tracy Ham throws over the middle, and the catch is made. Peter Tui Pelotu at the 14-yard line, and this is a 1st down Baltimore again.
Tui Pelotu caught about 30 passes during the course of the regular season. Terrific hands. He's a big receiver, 215 pounds.
14-yard line.
And this is the best drive the Stallions have put together in a couple of weeks. Hand off to Pringle, and Pringle is racked up after a pickup of a couple of yards. Tracy Ham going to the air with the wind at his back in this 3rd quarter. 3 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. And as a result, Pringle hasn't handled the ball for a while.
This Calgary defense doing a good job of sustaining as far as doing good defense against the rush and Mike Pringle, forcing Tracy Ham to use play-action pass. When they do it, freezes the linebacker. That's why Alpin and some of the other receivers are having luck working over the middle.
2nd and 9. Tracy Ham looking, can't find anybody, trying to escape, and he does. And this is when Ham is dangerous. He'll run it in for the touchdown.